Hello, we're live. Hi, everybody. It's me, Amanda Call, and this is my YouTube channel, and this is our Tuesday night live stream. I'm going to try to get this page as close to finished as I can because I don't think we're going to have another chance to work on it because yeah, so this week I'm gonna have to work on it, and then next week we're not gonna do a live stream because next week we have an election here in Maine, and as many of you know, my day job involves running elections, so I will not be available in order to stream. And then it'll be like that next day that this will be going up on Patreon. So I'm gonna have to whatever I don't get done tonight is gonna have to get finished off stream. So we're gonna get as far as we can this evening. This one has taken a while because of all of the little rocks and details and things. We're gonna continue on with some nib inking using my Speedball Super Black ink, which I have off to the side here, and I'm gonna open up and my G nib on the Tachikawa holder. And we're going to jump right in. Oh, I should probably put on my glasses because you can oh wow, you can see how powerful my readers are just when I hold them over because I help seeing the tiny little lines. That's better. All right, we're going to get some of the little details on the tack on some of these horses on here. Try to get a nice smooth line on those reins here. Some of the lines on the armor too. So while I am doing these itty bitty little details here, I'm going to ask, how's everybody's week? How is everyone doing? I have been sprinting, trying to get my garden put in. I got a later start than I would have liked between just like being busy with life stuff and then also like the weather not cooperating. So I'm kind of late, but I'm rushing to try to catch up. All right. Various packs and things on the back of the horse. I'm gonna get this horsey's little spots in. All right. Oh, yeah, it's a little horsey. It's looking so nice. Horses are a serious challenge. Every time I have to draw a horse, it's like, all right, how many different types of reference can I look at to try to figure out what does a horse look like? How do horse? I can't say as I always get it right. Sometimes I still end up with a very janky looking horse. We'll get there. We're slowly moving across. Well, let's see. Yes, I was very busy with trying to get my garden put in this for the year because I'm behind on all of that. And then also this weekend, I helped my best friend move and and they moved to be closer to me and I'm so excited. I mean, that's not why they moved, but where they moved is now closer to me and I am very excited about that. And so I got to do a whole bunch of lugging furniture and boxes and helping get stuff set up and organized and all of that good stuff, which included some shenanigans of having to hand a box spring up onto a second story porch because it wouldn't fit up the staircase. Oh, silliness. Just typical moving things. But yes, that was a lot of work, but very worthwhile. I'm very happy to have my friends move closer to me so I don't have to drive forever to go and visit them. and can see them more often. Ugh, the bugs have been vicious here. I have a terrible, like, nasty deer fly bite, like, right on my shoulder. It's so itchy. Hey, someone's saying, "Thank you so much for coming and joining me." All the tiny little details, trying not to lose my place. I am doing pretty well. I've been rushing around this week trying to get my garden put in because I'm very behind on all of that. And let's see what else is going on this week. I'm getting ready for Galacticon in Brewer, Maine. That'll be this Saturday. It's just a one-day event and it's free. I'm hoping that means that we get a good turnout. They've been doing a great job advertising. I've seen like posters all over the place. So I'm excited to see how Galacticon goes. This is being run by the folks who run Galactic Comics and Games, as one might expect, given the title. Stream time. Woo! But yes, Galacticon is run by the guys who run Galactic Comics and Toys in or collectibles, Galactic Comics and Collectibles in Bangor, Maine, and they're doing the Galacticon old school style comic show. So it is primarily a comic show, not like a bunch of other pop culture things. So we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping it goes well. It's in the post-pandemic time or whatever we're in at this point. There are a lot less conventions than there were. There were definitely like kind of an oversaturation of conventions there in like 2018, 2019. It was getting kind of ridiculous. But unfortunately, it went from like way too many conventions to like one. We have we have one in Maine now, and that's not sufficient. Not that Maine is like huge or anything, but it's nice for there to be other shows. It's nice for there to be different types of shows. It's nice for there to be some more variety in the types of shows. So, I'm hoping that this goes well. I'm hoping that it's like enough of a different vibe of a show because that was the other thing that was happening with like the oversaturation of shows shortly before the pandemic was that a lot of the shows weren't really doing anything to distinguish themselves. Like they were all essentially doing the same kind of stuff, just like, but we're doing exactly the same thing as the other conventions are doing, but we're doing it on a different weekend. And it's run by a slightly different group of people, even though you'll see all the same people there as you did at all the other ones. And so it was just kind of like, well, this is silly. This isn't really variety. What are we doing here? But yeah, now it's swung completely in the opposite direction, and it would be nice to see like more shows cropping up that have a different focus. I gotta do some rocks. Rocks, rocks, rocks. Yeah, the ones that I miss the most are the ones that were run by the Casablanca Comics folks. Uh, Rick and Laura, they own Casablanca Comics in Portland, and they used to run the main comic art festival with MECAF. Uh, that one was like my favorite show every year because it was all like small and self-published comics. Um, and that was usually at the Portland Public Library, so it was free to attend, and it was a really cool show. There was so much unique stuff there, and it was very much like creator focused, and it was just a really, really good time. I miss that one quite a lot. They also did another small one-day show that was kind of like a more generic um, comic like convention where they did have some different dealers and like comic shops and that sort of thing. But they still did a pretty good job curating what was there so that it was still very like comics and creation focused. So like yes, you did have some people who were like collectors and dealt in like used comics or other collectibles or that sort of thing, but it wasn't like 90% that or people with like, you know, MLM tables. Just why hello, I would like to sell my LuLaRoe here at this at this comic convention because that makes sense, right? I'm like, what? No, what are you doing? That doesn't make sense. It's been a while since I've seen any of that, but that was quite a thing there for quite a while. All of the different people doing like the LuLaRoe and Sensi and stuff at comic conventions. That kind of cooled off after the pandemic era, but that was a thing for a few years. Where it'd be like, ah, yes, comics, original artwork, and Sensi. What? What is going on here? One of these things is not like the other. And I'm mostly over my cold. I'm just now in that like lingering cough forever stage where it's like, your nose is going to be just a wee bit runny and you're just going to randomly cough for the rest of your life, it feels like. I'm sure it'll stop at some point, but I'm just at that point where it's like it hasn't changed. It hasn't like gotten better or worse in several days. It just kind of hanging out. There's a little black cat blob. There's Drake. Yeah, it's just annoying. It's just like that like okay, the worst of your cold is gone and it's just not going to fully go away for who knows how long. Like this horse right here. What's wrong with your face, buddy? Why is your face like that? Why is your face like that? This guy's face looks fine. What's wrong with your face? Did that help? I don't know. He's just kind of got a doofy face. I don't know what I did. I'm not a horse expert, though. Clearly, I'm not either. Oh, goodness. Made myself cough. Uh, we're always our own worst critic, though, it's true. I'm not I'm not satisfied with the horsey's face because I'm like, "No, I want it to look better," but, I mean, yeah, most people are gonna look at it and be like, "Yeah, it looks like a horse. It's fine." It's because we know how we want to draw things, so when it doesn't meet that vision, we can recognize it, where others are just seeing the drawing for what it is, and that is so true. That is exactly correct. That is exactly correct, someone saying. You hit the nail on the head there. I see the gap between what I wanted and what I ended up with, whereas someone else just sees what is on the page. They can't see what's in my head. They don't see that gap. They just see what's there. Oh, we're getting close. We're getting close to finally being done with all of the nib inking on this panel. It's like, granted, it takes up like half the page. There's a lot going on here. It just like it's taken forever. Forever. Oh yeah, so with getting ready for Galacticon, when I went to get ready for uh the main Odd and Unusual show a couple weekends back now, my printer died. Like my laser jet that I do like my little zines and stuff on, it died. And I was like, "Oh, you've got to be kidding me with this." Very frustrating. Um, but I I did realize what it was. I need a new drum, and so I'm like, I ordered one, and I'm just like anxiously watching my tracking number. Like, are you gonna show up before I have another event that I still won't get to print my new zines for? Ah. Yeah, yeah, so I do, like, little zine and mini comic type things. I have, like, a sketchbook that I do a new one every year, and I had this year's sketchbook that was and it's, like they're a little, like, limited run thing. I only do a handful of them each year, and I don't charge, like, hardly anything for them. It's just kind of a cool little, like, "Oh, look, this is stuff I doodled over the course of the year," and I try to get those done for the beginning of the convention season, and I usually have just about enough to run through the people who are actually interested in them over the course of a convention season, but, yeah, my stupid printer messed up before the first event, so I'm hoping that I will get my printer parts in before Saturday so that I can actually print those off. Okay, I got like, an eraser stuck in my pen. I need to clean this. Yeah, yeah, my drum died. So, like, it's a laser jet printer, so the drum is, like, I guess the part the laser, like, focuses through or something? I don't know. It's not the part with the toner, it's the part that makes the toner do the toning on the paper. I don't know. I don't actually really know how it works. I have a very vague sense of how it works. All I know is that from the printing setting and I looked it up and that it was like, "Yes, you need a new drum." And I'm like, "Well, I've never replaced the drum on this printer, so I guess that makes sense." And I've printed about a bajillion pages. All right, we've got Kamaria back here. And I'm trying to do a lighter touch back here in this corner because it is farther away. And so we want to have a little bit of atmospheric perspective to kind of push that section back so it doesn't like fight to come forward as much as the stuff that is closer to the picture plane, the area where the viewer theoretically is seeing this image from. So by the time we get all the way back here, we just have some very vague suggestions of people and horses. Like, I want to keep my lines in a fair amount of control so that I don't lose the shape of what I'm trying to draw and make it not read correctly. But I do want to kind of like not lay down every line. Let them be a little bit more undefined. Because again, as things are farther away, they lose detail. You can't make out as much of them. They get lighter, less detailed, less contrast, bluer, not that that matters in this particular instance. So yeah, you can see how, when you look at the whole thing, you've got a lot darker, bolder lines up front, and then as you have this area that's kind of pushed back, the stuff goes a lot lighter. Hey, Hungry. Oh, I missed a comment from someone saying, I started an image where I need to use a sort of atmospheric perspective. It's for someone I know who's doing a He-Man fan fiction comic. Fun. I have He-Man in the foreground and Godzilla coming over the mountains in the distance. Oh, that's so fun. I love that. That's great. That sounds like a very fun image to work on. All right, we finally did all of the drawing. There's only a couple little places where I'm going to put in some like shrubberies with a brush later. But now we're gonna move on to another panel. I have a little bit more of my drafting tool stuff to do here. Let's hope that it cooperates and doesn't make a giant mess. I'm gonna turn this upside down so that I can get a better line on what I'm doing here. Oop. Clean that off and flip it over. I think the rest of that I can kind of freehand at this point. All right, yay, armor. We've got some more horsey tack to do back here. Gotta get all little bits of Drake's face. Got some little bits of on Fell's clothes there. I forgot to draw his swords. Ding dong. All right, let me draw those in real quick. What a doof. Okay. Let me quickly add those in because that was very silly of me to leave those out. I think I put them on the next page. I don't know why I forgot them on this one. It's not like he would take them off. It's not like he wouldn't have them on him all the time. It's kind of like his whole deal. Okay, there we go. Now I have them at least roughly placed in there. Look at my other French curve with a nice big gentle curve. And I can see that where I just inked Drake's ears are still wet. They're kind of, oh yeah, there you go. You can get the glare from the light on there. They're still wet, so I have to be very careful not to put my French curve in them. Because we do not want that. That would be bad. There we go. Okay. All right, we got part of the saddle there. Do. Okay. And then back here, I've got some trees and things that I'm going to work on in the background. What time is it? Oh, we're getting close to time. Why? Phone? Why are you being so loud? It's sitting, like, on top of my half disassembled printer, and so it was, like, very loud and echoey when it just buzzed just now. I'm like, "Wha What do you want?" No, it's just my phone making weird noises because it's sitting on a weird pulled apart printer. It's like brr, brr. I am usually listening to music while I'm doing these streams, just, like, very quietly in, like, one earphone. Alright, gonna get some vague suggestions of trees back here. Alright, what do we got in this panel over here that we can work on in the last couple of minutes? We've got less than 10 minutes left in the stream, so I'm gonna do the YouTube things while I work on this panel and remind you all, I'm Amanda Call. This is my channel here on the YouTubes. I do these art streams just about every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I will not be here next Tuesday, however, because we have an election again here in Maine. We have our primary election next Tuesday, the 11th of June. So I will be indisposed. And realistically, I will be too exhausted the following day to try to stream again to make up for it. So we're just going to have to skip next week. Just so's you all know. Unfortunately, gonna have to skip it. But I will return the following week. It will all be good. And what you see me working on here on the stream is my comic, Age of Night. You can read Age of Night online completely for free at ageofnight.com. That's AGEOFNIGHT.com. I upload a new comic page just about every Wednesday. Again, sometimes life gets in the way, but generally every Wednesday. And while you can read the whole thing online for free, there are different ways that you can help to support me. The first 3 volumes are available on various online platforms. We've got Amazon, Drive-Thru Comics, Fiction, and RPG, and Skirmisher Publishing's website, skirmisher.com, where you can get some pretty sweet high-quality PDF copies. All of that helps to support me, as well as my Patreon. If you sign up for my Patreon, all patrons get to see the comic pages a week early. So the one that I'm uploading tomorrow, uh, that will not go public until the week after, and the one that's going public tomorrow, my patrons saw last week. It's very cool. I also have a Ko-fi, whatever you wanna call it, shop if you are more interested in maybe buying some stickers or something or prints, or you just wanna throw me a couple of bucks one time instead of doing a recurring charge type situation. All of that is very cool, and I super appreciate it. Also, you could see me in person at several events because it's con season. This weekend, I'm going to be at Galacticon in Brewer, Maine. That is Saturday, June 8th. And if you're in the area, it'd be really cool to see you. I hope I get to see you there. I'm just going to finish this little bit of like tack and then some. Ah! Get some of these trees, and then we're going to call this stream done for tonight. Oh, yeah, that's part of our helmet that's sitting up there. And not drag my hand through the big puddle of ink I just made over there. That would be bad. All right, I think I'm gonna add just a little bit right here, and that is gonna do it for tonight. We have made a fair amount of progress. I finally have like all of the nib inking done on this massive freaking panel up here, and I got the nib inking done on these two panels, and so I only have one more panel to do any nib inking on, and then I have to do brush inking, which won't take very much time because there's only a handful of figures on here. So we're in very good shape. And thank you everybody for hanging out with me for the many streams while I worked on this particular page. It's taken quite a bit of work. Yes, thank you so much. I hope the event goes well this weekend. I will have to let you guys know, not next week, but the weekend after. So thanks everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye.